So let's just revisit this form of leadership, if you don't mind, because you're very lucky to be in a position of power now as a CIO. You've had a fascinating journey, which we've already discovered. But I'm really interested, given that journey you've been on, what tip would you give other future leaders in this sort of space around, in your case, information or data or innovation technology? What tips would you give them?
I mean, aside from the three things that are really important for me as a leader, those three are key ingredients for success. But on top of that,
just as because obviously from an edit's perspective, that will not be included. So you're talking about strong, tireless work ethic. You're talking about, you cannot succeed alone. So you've got to build that sort of community of people around you, which you've termed a village. And then you've got to make sure that you can look after that village as well. So just to reference those 3 points you've made earlier on. So
that's correct.
So what tip would you give them?
But and on top of that, I would say communicate. Communication is the key to success. Upwards, downwards, sideways, and it's not just one time. It's repetitive conversations, awareness. It's just the relationship forming. If you want to become a leader, you must communicate.
So to take that on then, perhaps, because it can be very easy to say to people, you need to communicate more. What form of communication would you recommend has worked best for you in that role that you now have?
Sure. I mean, let's be very practical, right? We have like I said, 100 initiatives, right, this past year. And how does one keep up with all those initiatives, right? Think about it per department, right? So we hold, aside from meetings for that particular initiative, we hold monthly meetings with the department to give them an update on all of the things that we're working on for their department and other initiatives that we may be working with other departments that may impact them.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times I've received feedback of how much they appreciate that meeting, that update, because it doesn't have to be long, by the way. It's just a 30-minute update on where we are and what is next.
Incredibly valuable. And in particular, you did mention it's not just about the department that you're supporting, but the ancillary departments that may be impacted by it. Which allows for that cross-department communication, which is obviously much missed, I'm afraid, in much larger organizations. So I completely understand why you said that.
And what's funny is that is not just to update people, but that also feeds onto that value and the culture creation that we talked about before, because people start thinking, oh my goodness, yes, all these people are also utilizing technology. This is how they're using it, and I didn't realize you're also using this. And now all of a sudden, you're creating a culture where now you have two different departments talking to each other and say, "Hey, you know what? I heard that you guys are working on this. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because I think I might be able to use something like that." And then they start brainstorming, and then they come to us and say, "We would like X, Y, and Z."
Yeah, absolutely. And that's when you've got buy-in from everybody, when people are starting to communicate between themselves about the benefits of doing certain things in a certain way, and well, maybe you should try it. That's wonderful, isn't it? When you've actually got people being proactive about, have you thought about this? Could we trial that? I mean, that's the best position you can ever be in, right?
That's right. But that was not like that on day one. Right?
No.
You have to create that. I remember at the beginning of our journey where we had departments where say, I'm sorry, we just don't have the time. I mean, we're really busy here. And, what can you do that can really improve my life?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I quickly realized is that it was the individual's experience that perhaps they didn't really have that partner, that technology partner that work with them to really sit down and understand their needs and say, it's okay. Why don't we just have a conversation, right? And then getting their buy-in, getting their opinion, getting their input, right? And really building a solution with their needs in mind.
Completely agree.